Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Suzanne Rubinetti, and I'm a therapist in private practice in Summit, New Jersey. I have a specialty of eating disorders and body image in my practice. Have been in practice many years. The YouTube channel was created just to provide education and information. It is in no way a replacement for any kind of psychotherapy. Thank you to all those that have viewed the YouTube videos and subscribers. The last video I posted was in March where I was doing a food insecurity fundraiser. Thank you to all those people that bought note cards. I appreciate that, and 100% of those proceeds was donated to food banks in the state of New Jersey as well as Pennsylvania. So that is still running if you're interested in that. I appreciate that. So today I'm a little bit passionate about this topic, and today's title of the YouTube video is "The BMI is BS," and I'm going to tell you a little bit why. We hear a lot about BMI, body mass index. A lot of times people don't really know what it's about. It's just used in just so many common areas: your doctor's office, your schools, insurance forms, many things. So I'd like to talk about what it is, share a story about it, and give you some important information and let you know why I think it's a bunch of BS. So my 16-year-old niece shared with me a lesson that she was participating in school. And it was in her health class, and it was about the BMI. So she showed me a worksheet that everybody got, which I have. It's just hard to see. But it's just calculating your BMI. So the school tells them how to do that. The teacher tells them how to do that. You multiply your weight by 703. You multiply your height in inches by your height in inches. Again, this isn't what's most important about it. They talk a little bit about in the class. Body composition is explained. BMI is explained to the class. It's a number calculated from a child's weight and height. BMI is a reliable indicator of body fatness for most children and teens. So that's what they're told in the class, and then they're told how to calculate their BMI. So my niece calculates her BMI, and of course she's the one that is called on to tell her BMI. So her BMI is actually higher and considered in the overweight or very overweight category. So again, needless to say, my niece is extremely upset because you share this amongst your peers, and how could there not be some fallout from that? So my niece is a cheerleader, a dancer. She's very active. She has good eating habits. And it was extremely upsetting for the implication to be that she's overweight and, quote, unhealthy because her BMI is high. I have had parents numerous times over the years tell me their kids were called to the nurse's office and told their BMI was way too high, called parents to tell them that their kid's BMI is very high. This is an outrage to me, just an outrage. The implied message to my niece, as well as many of these other young people, females, was that she's unhealthy because her BMI is too high. My niece is incredibly healthy, and to have this BMI or this calculation define her was extremely upsetting, and define many other young people, because it doesn't take many factors into account. It in no way took into account her activity level, her lab work, her blood work is completely fine. It took none of that into account. So I'd like to define a little bit about BMI. I'd like to tell you a little bit about what it is. The person who dreamed up the BMI said explicitly that it could not and should not be used to indicate the level of fatness in an individual. The BMI was introduced in the early 19th century by a Belgian named Lambert Adolphe Jacques Quetelet. He was a mathematician, not a physician. He produced the formula to give a quick and easy way to measure the degree of obesity of the general population to assist the government in allocating resources. It is scientifically nonsensical. There is no physiological reason to square a person's height. So this mathematician had to square the height to get a formula that matched his data. So, if you can't fix the data, you can just rig the formula. this is most important. It is physiologically wrong. It makes no allowance for the relative proportions of bone, muscle, and fat in the body. Bone is denser than muscle and twice as dense as fat. So a person with strong bones, good muscle tone, and low fat has a high BMI. Athletes and very often health conscious people work out, take care of themselves. They are classified as overweight or even obese according to this standard. The CDC says on its website, the BMI is a reliable indicator of body fatness for people. This is so untrue. A high BMI does not mean an individual is even overweight, let alone obese. It could mean the person is very fit and healthy, very little fat. Some of the reading I was doing, I saw that a lot of the professional athletes, particularly football players, are noted as having very high BMIs, which is just unbelievable because many of them are very fit. So continued reliance on BMI means doctors don't have to use one of the more scientifically sound methods that are available to measure people's weight and or obesity or health or fitness levels. So, you know, it's upsetting because it's just an implication that there's so many implications that young people and people need to carry around in this culture as it is in terms of their fitness levels and bodies and preoccupation. It's just one more thing that I believe our youth doesn't need. So the thing to remember, there are many factors that help define a healthy self of mind and body, right? It's defining the whole self, mind and body. Let's not give power to a formula that is so flawed. Let's be kind and sensitive to the impact of using BMI, and this goes for the full medical profession scale, using the BMI scale, and particularly in our schools. The last thing I'll do is leave you with this wonderful organization is trying to get these BMI flyers in all of our schools, public schools, private schools. The Truth About the Fitness Gram. And this was produced by the Endangered Bodies Group, which is just an amazing network trying to stop some of this nonsense that we hear. So this is how to talk to your child about BMI. And again, they tried to get this in many, many schools. It has some great things in it. Let's see. It says a myth. A label of obesity means my child is unhealthy. Reality. The BMI does not take into account developmental stage, genetics, ethnicity, and bone structure. A healthy person with strong bones, good muscle tone, and low fat can have BMI. Can have a high BMI. Myth. There is one correct body size. Reality. Healthy bodies are diverse and come in all shapes and sizes. Myth. Dieting leads to a healthy body. Reality. Dieting puts children at risk of developing a negative body image, disordered eating, and long-term side effects. Myth. The Fitness Gram's BMI report is a useful tool for raising a healthy child. Reality. BMI testing creates body insecurity, not positive health habits. We need solutions that are way bigger, such as healthier school lunches, time to get outside, time to move our bodies. So again, I have kudos to this organization for trying to get these in all of our school systems. So thank you for listening today. I hope I provided you with some helpful information, and have a great day.